welcome back to my channel. So in this yoga sequence, I'm going to take you through a yoga flow to help you build core strength and stamina. So lots of my favorite exercises and lots of my favorite poses as well that will challenge you mentally as well. So I really hope that you enjoy. Please remember to listen to your body. So if something doesn't feel good, then don't feel you have to power through. There is no inner mean girl or inner mean boy allowed on your mat today. It's about listening to you and your body. So it's not about having to do something to make it look a certain way. If it feels better for you to do something different, please do so. Remember, you can pause at any time. You can have a rest at any time. Child's pose, or a nice full body stretch, or just lying in Shavasana. So please listen to your body. So we're going to start in a nice comfortable seat, and we're going to warm up through the spine, warm up through the body. So bringing yourself into this moment, onto the mat, and allowing yourself this time to practice yoga and to look after your body and honor your body and honor what it can do. So we're going to breathe in, reach the arms up and overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to lower down with the right arm, and we're going to reach that left arm over to the side. So just opening through the side of the body, just watching that we're not collapsing with that top shoulder. It's opening up here. That opposite hip isn't leaning away from the mat, it's not lifting away. And then we're going to come up to the top, and we're going to take that same thing over to the other side. Maybe it feels good to have a block here to rest your forearm on. Maybe the elbow reaches the mat, or maybe it doesn't. That's okay. Maybe one side feels as though you've got more availability to move than the other. Draw back on that top shoulder. Come back up to the top. Let's find our spinal twist. So taking opposite hand to opposite knee here, lifting up nice and tall through the spine. And as you exhale, just taking that gaze over that back shoulder. Lifting up as tall as you can through the spine so that you've got more availability to move and to twist. And then we're going to come back through this middle, the center, and we're going to take it over to the other side. So again, twisting, gazing over that shoulder, lifting up nice and tall through the spine. Beautiful. Let's come back up through the middle. We're going to roll over those knees to bring yourself into a box position here. And we're going to find our way into cat and cow. So we're going to inhale, lift the heart space and drop the belly. And then as we exhale, we're going to round through the spine, tucking the chin in. So let's flow with the breath. So inhale, lifting the tailbone and the heart, and exhale, rounding through the spine. Find your way back into cat and then cow. So connecting movement to breath brings you back to the present moment. So it just allows you to work with your body and check in with yourself and tune back in. Good. Last one. And then find your way back into a neutral spine here. We're going to extend one leg behind us. Opposite arm is going to extend out in front here. I'm going to lift that leg up. So arm and leg are lifted to shoulder and hip height here. I'm just going to hold it here for 3 more breaths, just to start to awaken that core. 2 more. Last one. Challenging balance. Good. Lowering down and taking it over to the other side. So extending the other leg behind, opposite arm, opposite leg, lifting to shoulder and hip height here. Watching that the pelvis isn't tilting, we've got that neutral spine. Using that core to help with balance, holding it here for another 2 breaths. 1 more. And then lowering it down. We're going to tuck the toes underneath, bottom towards the heels, then lifting your sitting bones nice and high towards the ceiling. Find your way into downward facing dog, just pedaling out the knees. Allowing the hips to move from side to side. Whatever feels intuitively good right now for you. Then finding some stillness here. We're going to inhale, look towards the top end of the mat, and then begin to walk your feet up towards the top of the mat here. deep forward fold. And then softening through the knees, and I'm curling through your spine, one vertebra at a time, finding your way into mountain pose. We're going to take 2 rounds of Sun Sal 8 to help warm up through the body. Breathing in, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hinging forwards over the hips, coming into deep forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or thighs, or maybe fingertips towards the mat, whatever feels comfortable for you. Exhaling, planting the hands down and finding your way into plank pose. Now in plank, maybe your knees are lowered down towards the ground. That's perfect, or maybe they're lifted here. I want you to feel as though you're pushing the floor away. So those shoulder blades are pulling away from one another. Those hips are lifted to shoulder height, they're not sagging down or lifting too high, and you have this energetic line pulling from the heels through to the crown of the head. From here, you can lower down with the knees for this first one. We're going to shift forward, shoulders slightly beyond the wrists. Tuck the elbows in towards the side of the rib cage as you lower down through Chaturanga. And then you're going to lift yourself up to find Cobra here, or maybe a baby Cobra with those elbows bent behind. Sinking those hips low, softening through those shoulders, and lifting the heart space. Tucking the toes underneath, exhaling bottom towards the heels, and then up towards the ceiling, finding downward facing dog. Holding it here for 2 breaths. And then looking between the hands, I want you to step, walk or jump feet back towards the top of the mat. Halfway lift, hands to shins or thighs, maybe fingertips towards the mat. Soften back into that deep forward fold, and then coming all the way up to find extended mountain pose here. Lowering down with the arms to find Tadasana, mountain pose. One more round, a little bit quicker. Inhale, reaching up, exhale, taking it back to find deep forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back to find plank. Inhale, shifting forward, shoulders beyond the wrists. And exhale, hugging the elbows in towards the side of the rib cage as you lower yourself down through Chaturanga. Inhale, lifting up to find Cobra. Beautiful. Tuck the toes underneath. Bottom back up towards the ceiling, downward facing dog here, just opening through the spine. One more time. And gazing between the hands. And we're going to step or walk or jump back to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, deep forward fold. And then inhale, rolling up through the spine, finding your way back into extended mountain pose. And then into Tadasana. Brilliant. So we're going to start with our flow, and we're going to start with a standing sequence to begin with to bring ourselves down onto the mat. So I want you to ground down through that left foot, and you're going to step back with the right foot here. So not too far back, we're going to find our way into Warrior One. So we want that front knee to be tracking over the ankle here, and we're bending nice and low. And those back toes are turned out slightly. Only ever so slightly. Our hips want to be square to that short edge of the mat. So maybe you want to widen your stance here, or maybe you want to lengthen your stance. Find a way that feels good for you. We want the chest to be square to that short edge of the mat as well. And those hands can be at heart center, on your hips or arms overhead. We're taking a nice big breath in. And as we breathe out, I want you to hinge forward from the hips. And we're going to come into arrowhead. So reaching those hands forward. So you've got this lovely length all the way through the spine here. And then we're going to come back up to the top. Breathing in and exhale. Reaching it forward. Switching on through the core. So working those abdominals here already. Maybe feeling in the leg as well. Good. 2 more of these, flowing with your breath. So exhale, reaching forwards. Inhale, coming back up to the top. Strong in that back leg. So make sure you're drawing up through that back kneecap. And then we're going to hold it here. So holding it forwards here. From here, we're going to exhale. Reach the arms behind us. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, reach behind. And inhale, forwards. Good. Behind and forwards. Last one. Inhale, reaching it forwards. We're going to plant the hands down to frame that front foot. And we're going to step back to find plank pose here. From here, exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to reach that left leg up towards the ceiling. From here, as we exhale, we're going to draw the knee in towards the chest, coming to a three-legged plank, pushing the floor away as much as possible. And then back. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, hugging it in. And then inhale, three-legged dog. 2 more of these. In and back. Beautiful. Last one. Drawing it in. Take it back into three-legged dog. And then this time we're going to come into that three-legged plank. So hugging that left knee in towards the chest. And we're going to lower that knee down. From here we're going to spin the toes behind us. Ground down through that back heel. And we're coming into a supported side plank here. Now this is where I love to add some movement in. So make sure those hips are stacked. We're feeling strong through that right leg that's extended here. We're going to take that top arm over, head, lower it down, spin it round, and all the way back up to the top. So this beautiful sweep with the arm here. So this is a supported side plank. So maybe you're already feeling all of that amazing core work going on and happening. And maybe you want to stay here. If you want to find your way into full side plank, you can extend both legs and have that top foot staggered in front of the bottom foot or directly on top, whatever feels better for you, more stable. Maybe one side feels more stable than the other. And then moving that arm adds that challenge. It adds challenge to balance and to stability. Beautiful. 2 more. Good, last one. Beautiful. Let's lower down with that top arm, find your way back into plank pose. And then bottom up towards the ceiling, back into downward facing dog here. Let's lift back up with that left leg one more time. We're going to exhale. This time as we come into three-legged plank, we're going to draw that left knee to left elbow. And then we're going to take it back. And then left knee to right elbow. Good. Take it back. One more time on each side. Tap it to left elbow. And then tap it to right. Good. Let's take it back. Three-legged dog. Step it back. Downward facing dog. And then we're going to come through vinyasa. So we're going to shift it forwards into plank. Slightly taking shoulders forwards beyond wrists. Exhale, hug elbows in towards the ribcage as you lower yourself under chaturanga. Untuck the toes, lifting up into cobra. Inhale here, exhale. Let's take it back into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Looking between the hands and then stepping, walking or jumping the feet to the top of the mat here. Halfway lift, breathing in, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, deep forward fold. And then inhale, rolling up through the spine, one vertebra at a time, coming back to find mountain pose. Let's take it over to the other side. So we're going to lower ourselves down. Good, exhale, holding it here in Uttanasana, deep forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Good, exhale, deep forward fold. And we're just going to give our stomach muscles a bit of a rest for a moment. Just allowing the back to open, allowing them to release a little bit. When you're ready, softening through the knees, rolling up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. And this time, we're going to take the weight into that right leg. And we're going to step back with that left leg here. So we're going to find Warrior One or Virabhadrasana 1 on the right side. So again, we want the hips to be square to that short edge of the mat. So maybe widening your stance here. Those back toes are turned in or turned out ever so slightly. Hips square, chest square. Hands can be on hips, heart center, or arms overhead. And we're getting nice and low in that front knee, but feeling strong in that back leg. From here, as we exhale, we're going to reach forwards, coming into arrowhead. Inhale, coming back up to the top. Exhale, reaching it forwards. And inhale, coming back up to the top. 2 more of these. Forwards and up. Beautiful, last one. Good. Okay, let's hold it here. Hold it here. And this time, as we exhale, we reach the arms behind us. Inhale, forwards. So holding it here means that we have to switch on that core even more to help stabilize us. And we get that added bonus of feeling it in that lower body too. One more. And then I want you to frame that front foot, step back to find plank pose here, and then back into downward facing dog. This time I'm going to lift up with the right leg, so 3-legged dog here, and this is your inhale. As you exhale, we're going to bring the weight forwards into plank, drawing the knee in towards the chest. And then inhale, back into 3-legged dog. Exhale, drawing the knee in towards the chest. Inhale, back into 3-legged dog. 2 more. In and back. Beautiful, last one. In and back. This time coming forward into that 3-legged plank, lowering down with that left knee, or that right knee, spinning the right toes behind you. And this time we're grounding down through that left leg. So we're coming into that supported side plank here. Now, you may want to stay here, or you may want to take those arm sweeps. So reaching over, down, and up to the top. So this challenges balance and stability, and maybe you're feeling all of that amazing work already happening in your core. If you want to, maybe this side is different. Maybe you want to stay here. If you want to though, we can extend into that full side plank. You can have that top foot on the floor to help support you if you want to help stagger them. Again, you might want to find some stillness, or you might want to move with that arm, using that breath. So making sure that the breath is always flowing through the body. Good. Lowering down with that top hand, finding your way back to plank pose, and then back into downward facing dog. Lifting back up with that right leg, 3-legged dog here. This time 3-legged plank, so we're going to come back, shifting the weight forwards, but we're taking right knee to right elbow. And then taking it back up. And then this time, right knee to left elbow. Back up. One more on each side. Good. And then find your way back into downward facing dog. We're going to come forwards to find plank. We're going to lower down with the knees. Take the knees nice and wide, big toes to touch. And this time, our little respite is coming in the form of wide-legged child's pose. So just relaxing your forehead onto the ground. Allowing the breath to settle if you notice that it's become ragged. Maybe gently rocking the hips or the shoulders. Whatever feels best for you. And then when you're ready, gently just walking your hands back in and bringing yourself onto your mat. So we're going to find our way into our last asana, which is boat pose. So with boat, there are a few ways that you can work towards it. Sitting on your bottom, making sure that you are sat on your sit bones. So maybe taking the fleshy parts of your butt cheek out to the side. Planting your hands down behind you, so fingertips are pointing inwards, drawing the shoulders down the back. Opening and lifting through the heart space as you take that weight backwards slightly. Floating one leg away, maybe floating the other, seeing how that feels. And if that feels good, maybe floating both away here. If that feels comfortable, maybe seeing how it feels to lift one arm, and then the other, and if that feels good, maybe lifting both away. Finding some balance and some core strength here. Taking a couple of breaths. Good. We're holding it for another 2. And then this time, I want you to take the legs one way, arms to the other, and we're holding it for 4 breaths here. 2 more breaths. Inhale, exhale. This is where challenge, stamina, and mental challenge comes into it. Come back through center. Let's take it over to the other side. 4 breaths here. You can lower down with the feet if you need to at any time. Remember, you can have that rest, you can have that pause. Come back through center. Last 4 breaths. And for these last 4, if full boat is in your practice with those legs extended, then you can hold it here. 2 more breaths. Last 1. Good. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give them a nice cuddle. Gently lowering yourself down towards the mat so you can take a well-deserved full body stretch here. Just opening up through that front line of the body, through that front fascial line. Taking your feet over to one side and then shuffling your shoulders and your arms. So we're coming to that same side. So we're coming into a banana stretch here, a banana pose. Now you may want to stay here, or you may want to cross one ankle over the other to help open through that hip a little bit more. Maybe grabbing hold of that top wrist and helping to draw that top wrist over. And then we're going to come back through the middle and take the feet over to the other side. That top ankle going on top here, maybe shuffling those shoulders and the arms over as well. Grabbing hold of that top wrist and maybe gently just guiding it over to that side a little bit more to feel more of a stretch going through the side of the body. And then coming back through the middle. Hugging your knees in towards your chest and giving them a nice cuddle. Gently rocking your hips, maybe just getting a bit of movement and just lowering your arms down to the side. Maybe cactus arms here if you don't have a lot of space, or capital T's. And then you're going to lower your knees down to one side, just getting a nice spinal twist here. Just watching that the opposite shoulder isn't peeling away from the mat, that it's staying plugged down, and gazing away from the knees here if that feels comfortable. Maybe keeping that gaze up towards the ceiling. Coming back through center, we're going to take it over to the other side. So knees over to the other side, maybe taking that gaze away. Again, just watching that the opposite shoulder isn't peeling away, so we can get that lovely twist through the spine. Good. Coming back through the middle here. Hugging your knees in towards your chest. And we're just going to rock gently up and down the spine to bring ourselves up into a nice comfortable seat, or alternatively you can roll onto a side that feels comfortable for you. Let's finish off with 2 more side bends, so 1 on each side. Nice big reach. Good, coming up to the top and over to the other side. Coming up. Good job. Well done, guys, for completing that yoga sequence to help strengthen your core. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Remember to share and subscribe as well if you haven't done so already, and I look forward to seeing you soon.